Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedAlliance, and today we're going to be doing an Appliancer test him video. So I'm really excited for this one, guys, because this was actually a part of the top 5 decks that you could get for $5 or less to get the core of the deck, which is really, really cool. I really think that that video went really well for you guys. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that so much, and I wanted to thank you guys for all the support that you guys showed for that video, because it was really amazing to be able to come up with a list of decks that you could get for $5 or less. And I'm actually going to be doing an entire series of those for you guys to show you guys all sorts of cool budget decks that you can build. So without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description every single video, getting a signed card in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. Now keep in mind, if you want to check out the deck profile for this, it is down in the description below. If you guys want to build this deck and like what you see, which is what's really amazing about these test hand videos, is you not only get the test hand, but you also get the deck profile in the description of every single one. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck up and see what we can pull off for our first test hand, because this deck is really cool. Now I will mention you guys as well, this isn't a $5 variant of the deck. This is an Appliancer deck, and if you guys want to check out the deck profile, I do have budget options for some of the more expensive cards that are in this particular deck, which is what's going to help you out a lot in the long run, especially some of the cards that are in the extra deck. Now I tried to keep it as budget as possible, I will mention you that, but I do have stuff like access code in the extra deck, which can be changed out for Borreload or Boral Sword, which you guys can definitely check out in the deck profile, because I talk about all that over there. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for our first test hand. So for our first test hand, we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck up. We're going to go ahead and draw. We got drawn to a copy of Breaker Buckler, a copy of Zero Day, a copy of Machine Dupe, which is great, and a copy of a machine or Appliancer Reuse, which is basically Monster Reborn. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and normal summon out a copy of my Buckle. Buckle is going to help me out a little bit, or Breaker. Breaker's going to help you out a lot in this particular hand because you had the Machine Dupe. So we're going to go ahead and use the copy of our Copy. Copy has the ability that you get to target one Appliancer monster you control, especially on this card in your hand. If you do, this card's name becomes that monster's until the end phase of the turn, which is going to help you out in the long run of things, just to get you an additional monster. That, like, the copy effect doesn't come in that handy, but being able to just kind of use it as an additional monster is what's really nice. So we're going to go ahead and use Machine Dupe now, and once we use the copy of Machine Dupe, we're going to go ahead and special summon out our 2 copies of our Breaker, because that's going to help us out in the long run of things a lot, because once you get them in the graveyard, they can actually protect you if an Appliancer monster would be destroyed by a card effect. Then you can manage to card from the graveyard instead to be able to protect stuff like your Laundry Dragon and stuff like that. So once we go into that play, this is Code Breaker is actually going to come out in a minute, because it's going to help us out with a lot of plays. So I'm going to go ahead and link away 2 of these monsters on my field for a copy of Keltipus. So once you summon out your copy of Keltipus, you can then link these 2 away to be able to special summon out a copy of your Code Breaker, which is going to be really, really helpful. So once you summon out that monster, since it is co-linked, you can then special summon out a copy of your Code Breaker Zero Day, which has the ability that when this card is special summoned, if it's co-linked, then you can special one Code Breaker Zero Day from your hand, deck, or graveyard to a zone a monster points to, which is really cool. I really like to a link monster that points to that zone, which is really helpful just to be able to get you into more plays. So then we're going to link these 2 away, and we're going to summon out our copy of the Code Breaker Berserker. So once we summon out Code Breaker Berserker right here, we're then going to use its effect that when this card is special summoned to a co-linked zone, then you can special summon up to 2 more Code Breaker monsters from your hand and or graveyard to a zone a link monster points to. So we're going to special summon here, and we're going to special summon right here. Actually, let's do that in reverse. Let's summon here and let's summon here, because we're going to get some really, really neat plays. So once we summon out those monsters, we're then going to use our copy of Reuse on our side of the field to special summon back our copy of Copy. And once you do that, you have some really interesting plays to go off into, my good friend. We're going to go ahead and link these monsters away on our side of the field, and then once you do link those away, you can then summon out a copy of Nightmare Griffin. So once you summon out Nightmare Griffin, then your opponent has the ability that they can't activate any monsters unless they're linked. So now, unless they summon a link monster, you're negating all their monster effects that's on the field, which is really, really good. You also have a 2800 beat stick on your field and a Keltipus to set you up for for more plays later on, which if you top deck into any of your copies of your Appliancer cards, you can then normal summon, or you can activate your copy of Reuse, and then Reuse will grab you during the next turn a copy of your copy back out of the graveyard, and then you can just, or excuse me, this would actually go on the bottom of the deck, so you could actually grab your copy of your Buckle, which is going to help you out a little bit to be able to then link it away. Now keep in mind, you have to summon out something that this points to for a copy of Vacuum Elephant, so now you can start popping your opponent's monsters that have their effects negated, which is really cool to be able to go into a play. Now this right here is my optimal board to go into in my Appliancer deck. I will tell you guys that you can use Phantom Knights as well if you want to throw Phantom Knights in here and change out some of the trap cards that I'm playing, where you change out the copy of, say, Magic Cylinders and change out the Storming Mirror Forces, but I like to use and focus around Laundry Dragon a little bit and summon this board as well, which can go into a copy of Rusty Bardiche if you want to go into Rusty Bardiche as well to be able to get you more plays, but it helps out to go into this board if you want to summon out your Nightmare Griffin, which is going to be the big play that I'm trying to go for. So let's go ahead and go into the next test hand, because that board is just absolutely insane. You can OTK really, really easily because the Keltopus is going to boost this up to 2,000 when it attacks. This can pop something. This also has a 2,900 or 2,800 body, and then this is negating the effects of activated effects of monsters on the field unless they're linked. So you have really, really good monsters and really good effects as well. That's going to get you the majority of your really insane plays just with the Codebreaker cards. Like, I love to be able to summon them in this deck, and they help out the deck so much, especially if you top deck like a Machine Dupe. It's just going to make the deck absolutely crazy. So let's go ahead and shuffle the deck up. Like, I really think if we got like 2 more main deck monsters, we'd be in a really good position, especially if they could special summon themselves, because this deck would absolutely be crazy. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next test hand and see if we can pop off as much as we did the first time, because sometimes you just summon Laundry Dragon set 2 and pass. So let's go ahead and draw. We're going to draw into Appliancer World, Magic Cylinders, a copy of Appliancer World, copy, and another copy. So this is going to be one of those hands that you set a card with a Laundry Dragon and pass. So we're going to use the copy of Electronical World, and once you grab that copy of Electronical World, you're going to grab out a copy of Sockatroll. Sockatroll is going to help you out a lot in this particular hand because it's going to get your copy of your copy on the field as well. So we're going to go ahead and use the copy of the copy of our Sockatroll to be able to normal summon it, and then use the copy of copy to be able to copy the name and effect of your Sockatroll. Now, Sockatroll has the ability that if it has the ability that you can special summon an Appliancer Sockatroll from the deck if you control this card, or excuse me, if another Sockatroll is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, then you can special summon another Appliancer Sockatroll. Since this card copied the name, I can then special summon another Sockatroll because it counts as one when I special summon it. So I'm going to get my third copy of Sockatroll on my field, which is going to help me out a lot. Now, you can also activate the effect of your Appliancer Electrical World, because when this card is activated, you get to add an Appliancer card from your deck to your hand, and then once per turn, and then you link summon an Appliancer Link monster, then you can add one Appliancer monster from your graveyard to your hand, which can be one of the Sockatrolls to get you more plays next turn. So we're going to go ahead and start link summoning. I'm going to go ahead and link these 2 away, and I'm going to go ahead and summon out the Keltopus, and then I'm going to go ahead and link away my copy of Sockatroll, and then summon out a copy of my Laundry Dragon. Now, you can just summon Laundry Dragon if you want to, and just pass with that field. It's totally up to you. And then I'm going to set a copy of Magic Cylinders, because the Magic Cylinders is going to come in quite handy. And once we summon out the copy of Laundry Dragon, you can then grab the Sockatroll and put it back in your hand, which is going to help you out a lot. So you're going to pass on this. Now, why in the world would I think it's really good to set a copy of Magic Cylinders and have a copy of Laundry Dragon? Well, if you guys don't know what Laundry Dragon does, let's go over this card, because this card is one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck. So it cannot be link summoned, or can be used as a link material to turn. It's link summoned, and neither player takes any battle damage from an attack involving this card. And once per turn, after damage calculation, if this card is co-linked, card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. And then it has the ability also that once per turn after damage calculation, if this monster that is not co-linked battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do inflict damage, you won't equal that opponent's monster's attack. So this card is literally Dragoon's out, because if this card is co-linked and battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. That's kind of neat, in my opinion. And then you also have the copy of your Keltopus that's going to be able to boost it, and you have the copy of your Magic Cylinders as well that's going to be able to get you even more advantage in this deck. So you have a lot of different cards running, and you can even get this card unco-linked as well, because it has the ability that once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can move one of your Appliancers onto another monster zone. So I can move it over here if I want to and make it not where it's co-linked anymore, or move it over here where it's not co-linked anymore, and then its unco-linked effect will go off, but the Keltopus is a little bit vulnerable at that point, so you got to keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one, because that's pretty much going to be it for the first one or the second one. Let's go ahead and draw, and well, you can go into some more plays. Let's go ahead and see what we can do this. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of 4-Mud Skipper. 4-Mud Skipper's effect, you're going to reveal in the extra deck a copy of Laundry Dragon, so now count as a Laundry Dragon, because during the main phase you can reveal a Link monster in your extra deck, and if you do, this card's, when you Link summon this turn, you can treat this card as a Link material with the same name, type, and attribute. So we're going to go ahead and special summon out the copy of Sock Control onto our field, because we do have other monsters on the field, and then we can special summon out the copy of Copy Buckler as well, which is going to help us out, because you can copy the name of this card, and then this card's effect can go off if you want to, because you do have another copy of Sock Control on the field technically, to be able to special summon another Sock Control out of the deck, which we already have one in the graveyard, but we have one more in the deck, which is going to help you out a lot to be able to get that extra Sock Control on the field to go for additional Link plays. Because now you can go into that copy, or go into the plays that I was showing you guys earlier, where you can go into a copy of, say, link these two away, and then you can, actually, I would probably link away these two. I'd probably link away these two, and then I would summon out the copy of my, where is it? I would summon out the copy of the Codebreaker, and then I would use the effect of my 4-Mud Skipper to grab out of the deck my copy of Parallel Xyz, which is going to give me even more plays, and then the copy of Codebreaker is going to summon out the copy of Zero Day. And then you can link these two away if you want to, or you can do a quick link climb, which is going to be a better play because you're going to clean out some of those zones if you want to with the copy of the Zero Day. If you want to get out some of the monsters off the field, you can go ahead and link summon into a Griffin if you want to get the Griffin on the field. If you want to switch these monsters up, it's going to help you out a little bit more, because then you can link away the copy of all of these cards on your field, all 4 of these, to be able to, actually these count as the same name, so you can't use it into Griffin. You can actually summon something else, but you can't summon the Griffin, which is a little bit unfortunate because they have to be the same. They have to be different names, which is the only downside of this, because you start getting into plays like this and your field starts getting a little bit cluttered, and so you kind of have to think about it and go, wait, what am I going to summon here? What am I going to do in this particular situation? So you could summon Boral Sword since you're going second if you want to go that route, or it could be Borreload. It can be either of those monsters to help you link climb if you want to summon out the copy of Borreload. And since we did link summon, you can still go into some really neat plays, because your copy of your Sock Control can add itself back to your hand. If this card is linked summon, it's only if you link summon a copy of of one of those. So we're going to go ahead and link these away if you want to link these away as well. You've got the Boral Sword, and then now you can actually link into the copy of your Codebreaker, which is going to help you out a lot. Then, because then now you can revive back your copy of your Swordsman, and you can link out your copy of your They can only use those zones. When this card special summon code co-link, you can special summon 2 Cyberse monster in your deck to zones. Okay, up to 2. So I can go ahead and grab the copy of the Virus Swordsman if I want to into this zone, which is going to help me out a lot in the long run of things, because then you can just attack your opponent, and this is actually like game just right here with these monsters, which is really helpful. So let's go ahead into the next one and see what we can pop off with, because you kind of got to think about it too, because when you start getting your field cluttered like that, the link zones do start really mattering, and where you have your monsters, you really have to wait, there's so many plays. What do I do here? And you kind of got to stop and look at it, because there's so many plays in this deck. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for one more and see what we can pop off with. Because like I just showed you guys, this deck really pops off. Like, it really goes in, which is what's really cool. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. So we're going to draw into an Ash Blossom, which is the first time we've drawn a hand trap, a copy of Breaker, Buckler, a double Machine Dupe, and a Were Arfdal. Okay, that's pretty busted. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of the Breaker Buckler, use the copy of the Machine Dupe. Machine Dupe is so good in this deck. Special summon out a copy of Breaker Buckler, and then use another copy of Breaker Buckler. And once you summon out these to your field, you can then use the Were Arfdal to be able to add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand, which is Sock Control. The Sock Control can special summon itself to your side of the field since you control another Appliancer monster. And then you can go ahead and link summon 2 of these away to summon out your copy of your... Oh, that's so broken, because we have the copy of the second Machine Dupe. That's so crazy. You can then use the second Machine Dupe Uh, even if your opponent ashes, it's not once per turn because it was made in Rise of Destiny. It's so old. We can then use the Machine Dupe and then summon out a copy of Socket-Troll, another copy of Socket-Troll, and another copy of Socket-Troll when I can find it, which is going to make this hand even crazier. So we're going to summon out both of these to our field. And then now you can then link these two away. I love when I spin those, like when I'm trying to pick them up. So we then link these two away, and then you go back into your copy of your Code Breaker. So we're going to go into the Code Breaker now. And then once you summon him, you can grab out the copy of the 0 Day. And once you summon out the 0 Day, you can then link both of these away. And once you link those away, you can then special summon out the copy of your Berserker, and then Berserker will let you special summon out both of these to your field, which is going to help you out a lot. And then now if you want to go for Appaloosa, you can go for Appaloosa because you have 4 monsters with different names, or you can go for your copy of Nightmare Griffin if you want to go for Nightmare Griffin and keep one of your monsters on your field if you want to. Now again, optimal board, we're going to go for that. You can then immediately summon out the Nightmare Griffin to your field to just stop your opponent's effects, and then link away the copy of the Socket-Troll on your side of the field for a copy of the Vacuum Elephant, which is going to get you even more plays. And you got an Ash to be able to discard. So you have all those really good plays. Like, this is really good. Like, this deck is really good because you've already built like a really good board. Like, you have 2,500 negating effects. You have a 29 or 28 that during the main phase you can destroy spell and traps up to the number of Codebreaker monsters on the field, which is going to get you at least 1 pop. This is boosting this up, and it can't be targeted by card effects or attacks as long as you have another monster linked to it. And then the Vacuum Elephant can pop stuff. Like, this is really good. And then you have the copy of Ash to be able to discard from the hand to be able to just immediately negate something. So you have more plays there. Like, this hand or this deck is really, really good to be able to play with. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. And I know the comments. I hear them coming. Of course it's good. You open double Machine Dupe. How could it not be good? Well, you know, it could, depending on what the extra deck is and what you can actually summon in the deck. It still can be bad. Like, you still have plays in the deck that can shut you down, which is what's unfortunate about certain decks with Machine Dupe. But in a deck like this with Machine Dupe, you're right. How could this not be bad? Or how could this be bad? Especially, like, even if they ashed the first one, I still had 4 monsters on field. The only thing that I wouldn't have gotten is the Vacuum Elephant. I still could have gotten the Code Breakers on my field. I just wouldn't have gotten that extra 2 Socket-Trolls. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. We're going to go into an Appliancer world. We're going to grab a copy of the Breaker Buckler. This card loves me, I swear. A copy of Storming, and a copy of Copy Buckler and Where Arfdal. So we got 4 monsters in hand right now. You guys might be looking at it and go, wait, that's 2. Nuh-uh, we got 3 or 4 really with the copy of Where Arfdal. So we're going to go ahead and use the copy of the Electronical Whirl, and we're going to go ahead and add from deck to hand a copy of Socket-Troll again. Guess what? Socket-Troll all over the place. Then we're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of our Socket-Troll, and then use the copy of the Breaker Buckler to copy its name and effect. And we're going to go ahead and be able to special summon out another Socket-Troll. Now this is going to be able to have instant protection where Arfdal is going to go off. And we're going to be able to add another monster from deck to hand, which are going to be a little bit more defensive this time, which is going to be really nice to be able to go a little bit more defensive. Grab the copy of the copy from deck to hand. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to set our copy of Storming to our field. And then I'm going to go ahead and link these 2 away again for another Keltipus, which is the main play that you're going to be going for the majority of the time. And then summon out your copy of Laundry Dragon, which is going to help you out again. And then once your copy of Laundry Dragon touches the field, grab your copy of Socket-Troll back out of the grave. And then you got all 3 of your Appliancers. And if your opponent does anything, you have the copy of Storming, and then you can move this if they declare an attack. So you have even more plays. You can get rid of their board. You can bait them with this. This is going to bait them a little bit. And you also have more plays as well because you can then special summon during next turn, special summon during next turn, and normal summon during next turn, and get you 3 more monsters to summon on your field. And then you draw into a monster more, which is even more busted in this particular hand because then you're going to get 4 monsters on the field and go into that crazy board that I showed you before, which can be interchanged out with the Nightmare Griffin into a copy of your copy of Appaloosa, which gives you 4 more negates, which is really cool. So you have even more plays. So I think that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope I did the deck justice for you guys to be able to see how powerful Appliancer actually is. Now, it does have a couple of points as you're playing it. Like, if you do Machine Dupe, that your opponent can Ash it, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's just what you get when you play this deck. Like, the deck is really good, but you have points in the deck that you're going to be able to just get stopped. And if they do, all you do is just link for a copy of Laundry Dragon and pass, because they're going to deal damage to them. And that's why I play the traps like your magic cylinders and your copy of Storm Mirror Force, is to anticipate stuff like that. Anticipate getting hit with a copy of Ash or a hand trap. And where you don't get that crazy optimal board is when you just summon Laundry Dragon, set to, and pass. Just saying. So anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell near so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.